I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Kenzie Meek-Beck. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm doing really well. I'm out in Seattle, Washington, and so I'm doing pretty well. It's a little bit chilly out here, but it's good.
Wow. So I just came from outside, and it's a bit chilly. My chilly is probably about 25 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay.
What is your chilly?
Well, I couldn't convert it over to Celsius because unfortunately we have a completely different system here. But I would say my chili is 50 degrees and below.
Ouch. So it's probably about 17, 18 degrees. Ouch. Okay. Your chili is pretty chilly.
Yes, it's very cold up here. Now,
Wow.
where are you from? I forgot to ask. I'm sorry.
I'm in Trinidad.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is amazing, right? Having a conversation, so fun. We're hearing each other in real time. It's amazing.
know.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, do tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
Well, I would say I'm a podcast host. So
Whoop,
you
whoop.
discovered, yes, and we met on LinkedIn. And yeah, I decided about a year ago that maybe a year and a half that I wanted to do a podcast that I was passionate about. And so I got with one of my best friends and we created it. So it's been a blast so far.
Now, before I ask more, right, I just needed to get in here and check something. You said it's 40 Fahrenheit, right? Did you say 40?
It's around 50 today. I haven't
50.
checked the weather to be honest, but I would
Wow.
guess 50.
So for those who do degrees Celsius, it's actually 10 degrees Celsius, right? Ouch!
I guess
ouch.
so. Is that cold?
It is very cold, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't go down to that in the Caribbean. No time.
I bet
But,
not. That
you
would
know, it's
probably be scary if
it
it
will
did.
be scary. It will be like Ice Age, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, please do tell us about the podcast, a bit more about the podcast and what you do there. You co-host, right?
I absolutely, yes. I'm definitely a co-host, and my friend is interested in being on this podcast as well, your podcast.
That'll be
She
fun.
loved it. But we host I'm Kenzie, and my co-host name is Megan. We host The Peaceful Truth. We started it in July, and we are two feminists. So we just try to empower young women by what we speak about, young professionals, and just inspire women to empower and uplift one another instead of spreading negativity and being catty. We also spread topics of feminism. So we are about human rights and just making sure that equality is spread. And just because we can speak from the perspective of women in America, and we're young professionals, that's kind of where we come from. But we do have guests to share their experiences as women and men who are feminists, because men can be feminists as well. So that's what we do. So we just spread the knowledge and try to spread positivity. And the peaceful comes from Megan. Megan, my co-host, is a yoga instructor. So that's where we derive the word peaceful. And then truth comes from journalism, which is an element of my own. I was a journalist for a while. And so the peaceful truth is how it came to be.
I love it. I love how podcasters create and expand. It's so fascinating. Please do tell me who in possibly your family or even your circle of influence had that level of confidence as a woman.
Yeah, I would say my older sister has inspired me a lot. She has always encouraged me and uplifted me. She was a guest on our podcast. She's just a very strong woman professionally, and very driven. She's just a very good role model. So she kind of guided me through where I am today.
That's great. Definitely, you are in the minority when it comes to what you are standing for. I'd like to know, why will you continue to repeat this skill in the midst of being the minority?
Well, you mean why would I continue to, I guess, create content that's related to feminism?
Yes.
I think it's important to spread knowledge. I feel like in 2017 it has gotten better, but there's still evidence that sexism exists every day. For example, a famous Hollywood producer here, Harvey Weinstein, just got in trouble for sexual harassment, assaults, and we just see that sexism is still prevalent in the United States and worldwide, obviously. So we just feel like it's not over. The fight for equality for women is not over, and it's far from over everywhere. So we just feel like we can continue to speak out and empower women to come together, because we feel like it's a more powerful force if women come together as one. So we're just encouraging that sort of mindset.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. I do support what you are doing.
Well, thank you so
Fully.
much. I really appreciate
You're
it. Yeah,
welcome.
you interview so many inspiring women, it seems like. I listen to a lot of
Powerful
yours.
woman. Powerful woman. Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. Well, do tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Consistently outside of the podcast, I guess.
Sure.
I have been in videography for the past few years. I graduated university, in 2014, and I'm 26 now. And I studied broadcast journalism. So I was in a mix of television and the online world of creating different video clips and different stories just through video format. And I'm really passionate about composing and editing videos and telling stories. So that's what I've done consistently over the past 3 years.
So how does that make you feel? I mean, videography is so much time. Oh my, it's so much time, right? So how does it make you feel? It is.
It makes me feel. It makes me kind of feel artistic, to be honest, because it's not like using a paintbrush or anything like that, but you use the composition of storytelling through the visual arts to tell something, and you kind of compose something that people can watch and gain empathy or sympathy because they're physically watching it for something. And that's kind of how it makes me feel, artistic, I suppose.
Interesting. Suggest to someone out there who it's really an opportunity to vent, right? In an artistic way. It's a creative
definitely
opportunity. Yeah, it is. Suggest to someone out there who may be doing what they're doing, let's say their day job or just doing life, and why they can do what you've done by having those two options, weighing the creative side of what you're doing together with the full throttle side of life.
Oh, definitely. I think it creates balance. I feel like having a day job, yes, that makes money, and I like if it's fulfilling in that way, but at the same time, creating something artistic, you feel like you're putting something else different in the world, you're using a different part of your brain. I just feel like it balances you fully. So that's kind of what I would suggest, is definitely trying something both creative and outside of work, because it just kind of relieves a part of you that you didn't even know you had.
Love it. Well, amazing audience, we are live with Kenzie Meek-Beck. She is the co-host of the Peaceful Truth podcast. Do check that out. My friend, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Kenzie, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I would say my grandfather giving me a kiss on the cheek when I was 3, and he had a beard, so I remember it being very scratchy. That was my first memory.
Interesting. So you're 3, he gives you this kiss. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Because I love my grandpa, and I remember being like, whoa, that's scratchy and interesting, but he was like very sweet to me all the time, and so I remember looking up at him and smiling afterward, and I don't know why it stuck with me, but it just always did. I didn't get to see him too often. He lives far away, so maybe that's why. Interesting.
Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yeah.
I love the idea that there are two sides of the seesaw, if you would, that are playing there. The manly man, right, in all his beardness, and the womanly woman in all of her womanliness, right?
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, none needs to be less by being more.
Right.
And the fact that you are the person who is carrying on that now, representing that in terms of the womanliness amongst men is fascinating.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I like that interpretation.
Yeah, I like it too. That's fascinating. So the manly man, but he still comes in to understand that this is a gem, a woman of the strength is there. Wow, that's fascinating.
Definitely.
Is your grandfather still alive?
He is. He's late 80s, I believe 88 to 89. So
Wow.
yeah, he's still alive though.
Wow. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
When I was 12, oh goodness. I'm trying to remember what was popular then. It might have been probably the Spice Girls, I feel like, or something like that. Maybe a Britney Spears song, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying
Choose
to
one.
think what it might be. I don't know. Maybe Hit Me Baby One More Time. I think that was probably pretty popular back then.
Yeah, there we go. It all connects.
I was a typical teenage girl in the U.S., so...
It all connects. It's amazing. Well, my friend, we have arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Kenzie, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No, not yet. I think that's the future still to decide. I think I'm too young maybe for that.
Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Do you have children?
No, I do not.
Do you believe in God?
No, I do not.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
I do not.
How about 3 hours a week?
Probably.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
More than 8. I work in front of a computer.
Kenzie, after having 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with this workbook, and the name of it is Yours, and it stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. Connected to that is your own unique real statement, your mission. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, something that represents Kenzie Meek-Beck, what would you say that is?
I would say make someone's life better.
There we go. Well, Kenzie, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Spread peace and love. That's about it.
The peaceful truth. Kenzie Meek-Beck, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.